music forms of a certain style.
Can you see a connection between Blind Lemon Jefferson and Skip James?
Skip James? Skip James' style was...
To my ear, it sounds... Can you play what you were playing?
Mm-hmm.
Again?
What that, Jimi Hendrix or what that? Let me tell you, let me show you a little bit of what the Skip James was doing. That's a melancholy. It's designed to be more kind of a melancholy feel, because what it is the doubling. You double the notes. So you're going. You're taking a higher octave of it.
He used to play minor key.
Yeah, but that's the sound. That's the sound. What I'm trying to show you. That's the sound. See. So you got them ringing notes, and it brings them. It's like, okay, this is a major note. This is a minor. Like this would be a major. This is a minor. You know. That's more of it's a minor sound. You know, where a major sound is. Now I'm getting into harmony, but that's where you're starting to get formations of different styles, and you're getting a little bit of different things mixed in with it. Now that's coming from that harmony and minor key stuff. That's coming out of European, because in European there's harmony. You have minor keys and major keys and augmented sevenths and augmented fifths, and the African, they didn't have augmented sevenths and augmented fifths and minor sevenths.
You don't consider Skip James African?
No, what I'm saying is, it's a mix of the African with some European melodies. That particular style of blues came out, they called it Batonia. Batonia blues. Skip James was one of the forerunners to that particular style, which is not Delta blues. It's Mississippi blues, but it's not Delta blues. The Delta blues is more. Yeah. That's the Delta. And then if you go close to Mississippi, you go up towards northern Mississippi, it changes again. They call it North Mississippi blues. And it's hookers like that, but the main component is Mississippi Fred McDowell, R.L. Burnside, Junior Kimbrough, which is my favorite. This is my favorite. That's North Mississippi. And see, it's not, and then the North Mississippi is less, there's very little changes in it. It's real, it's probably the most African of the Mississippi blues, it's North Mississippi blues, because there's no harmony in it. It's just straight. I can play that on those two strings, same thing. Because I don't need harmony. All I need is rhythm and melody. And that's, if you can get that concept of rhythm and melody, then you're starting to understand blues. Because that's the core of the blues. The rest of it is an addition. You can put it in there, because I could go. I can put harmony in it if I want to. I can put changes and you know, put augmented fifths and stuff in it if I want to. But you're adding, it's like it's not the cake, it's the icing you put on the cake. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're putting icing on the cake, but the core of the sound is not all these chord changes. The core sound of this. I'm saying a lot of people miss that when they play blues. They forget, they leave that part out. And you know what? It changes it. It's not blues anymore. Yeah, because when you lose the, you know. That's rock and roll. See, if you want blues, you got to go. Because the beat, if you lose the beat, if the beat changes, you change the music. Because in rock and roll, going. Yeah, you've changed the music. It is influenced by blues, but it's not blues. And people try to call that blues, and it's not. You know, what Chuck Berry was doing, he created another genre. You know, Chuck Berry created another genre. He wasn't playing blues. He was blues influenced. And if you ask Chuck Berry today, he'll tell you he wasn't playing blues. He was doing his version, what he called rock and roll, or R&B. Something he called something R&B. So that's why I say in the core, you have to keep the core. If you're going to say you're playing blues, you got to keep the core inside the music. It's just like if I'm playing classical music, I have to play the basic chord structure of classical music. If I change the chord structure or start leaving a bunch of it out, it's changing the music. It's influenced by classical music, but you can't call it classical. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it's like when you listen to modern jazz versus bebop or what you call early jazz, like Louis Armstrong and stuff like that. It's not the same. Because there's certain parts of it that they've left out or they changed. You know, well, I used to listen to a lot of John Coltrane, which was like free jazz. To me, I was more like he was playing blues, free blues to me than he was playing jazz because the harmony went away. You know, he just kind of ignored the harmony and he would just go stretch, you know, and I loved it, but I don't know if I want to call it contemporary jazz. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If I listen to some Miles Davis, you know, that's contemporary jazz, you know, because it has all the harmonic structure intact. But when you start pulling, but even in Miles Davis, when you listen to Miles Davis later on, when he was in the 70s and 80s, when he started playing with John McLaughlin and Bitches Brew and Sketches of Spain, it changes. It changed. It's no longer, you know, he started leaving those parts out. And so by the time later Miles Davis, I don't call it jazz. I don't call it contemporary jazz. I don't think he would either. Does that make sense?
Miles himself, he said that he don't play jazz.
What's that?
Miles himself says that he don't play jazz.
I agree with
Play
him.
his music. No,
When he decided he
don't call it jazz.
don't call what he was doing jazz. And if you understand what he was saying, he's right. You know, it's just what we label it. But you know, but the structure of what he was doing in the 50s with kind of blue and all that was in the structure of bebop. You know what, like Charlie Parker, you know, Bird and all that. That's bebop. And that was in the structure of what we call contemporary jazz. When he was very good at it, but as he progressed, he kind of, you know, he left that. You know, because I wouldn't call Bitches Brew. It's more fusion. That's what I guess you want to put a name on it. More fusion music than it is anything. Because it's a lot of it's just you know, it's just got a straight beat to it, and there's no chord changes. He's improvising off a modal pattern, and he's not changing chords. He's just staying with inside. He's free improvising off that same modal pattern. So the chord is not changed. He's playing the same chord through the whole thing. He may play it for 15 minutes, you know. But people associate with him as jazz. But technically, you know, he wasn't. You know, at that point where his music, he wasn't playing jazz. You know what I'm saying? To me, he wasn't playing jazz. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm a blues man. I'm not no jazz person. I'm a blues guy. But I've studied this music a long time. And you got what we call, I guess you got certain, they try to classify certain style of blues, that's blues, and the rest is not blues. I said, no, that's not true. You know, of course you got the B.B. King, you know, the B.B. King style, and what we call a lot of times urban blues. And it has a fairly straight chord structure, you know. It's got a nice, and this chord, then you work with inside the chord, where urban, what we call urban blues. But not everything that B.B. King did was urban blues either. A lot of it was R&B. You know, when you're going, that's almost verged on like, who else kind of sounds like that? Who is that?
Johnny Hooker.
Johnny Hooker, but who else sounds like that here? Rock group. ZZ Top. That's ZZ Top.
That's, well, they're Texans too. Yeah.
Right. And, you know, and see, that's ZZ Top rock and roll. And the difference between that and the John Lee Hooker one is. See, they're going.
They're on the upbeat.
Right, but see, they're going. Well, Hooker is. You hear the difference?
Yeah.
You know, all like this. That's Hooker. That's Johnny Hooker. Huh?
The one you played before?
On this. Huh?
Who's that?
This one is one, he's just recently one of my favorites. He died recently. His name was Robert Belfour. You probably don't know him.
No, I never heard.
Yeah, he never got real popular. But a lot of his, he had a little bit of, he just had a little different way of phrasing it, you know. It's just the way he was doing it. But it's the same stuff as. It's just he did it. He throws in a couple different figures that are a little different. And that's how you and here, this is how you develop your own style. Is you find something that you like and you're not copying, but you're borrowing.
You can steal.
Huh?
You can steal.
Everybody steals. Everybody takes pieces and parts of who they like. The real guys that really have a style, they take pieces and parts of people they like and they develop their own style. And once they, hit on something that's dim, then then it becomes their style. That's why you can hear Carlos Santana play, and you know it's Carlos Santana.